I've been in the fire service for about 32 years now. I'm a station officer there. I've been through a number of different departments, so to speak. I've been in their training department, their BA department. I've done some project work for them on technology, and now I'm back at the station level. I had an adenocarcinoma of the duodenum. The duodenum is at the end of the stomach and connects to the small intestines, and what that does is it transfers food from the stomach through to the intestines for digestion. So you could think of it, it's one of the sphincters of the body. There's a number of them, there's not just the one we know of, but it's like that. So it actually squeezes and pushes food through to the small intestines. So it was surrounded by a cancer. It's such a rare cancer that they don't know. They don't know what causes it. They don't really know what contributing factors are. And talking to both the surgeon and oncologist, there's never going to be a study done on it because it is rare, and it would take 200 years to do a valid study, and no one's going to do it. I've had the surgery and I've finished chemotherapy last week. The surgery was called a Whipple's procedure. It involves taking out about a third of the stomach, your gallbladder, the duodenum, and some of the pancreas. It does affect you mentally, emotionally, because it's such a big thing and it's so very quick. Although I'd been suffering from it for a long time, it had gone undiagnosed because the symptoms didn't point to cancer. They didn't actually point anywhere. So it went undiagnosed for quite some period of time, over 6 months. So when it was diagnosed, the distance between diagnosis and treatment was very quick. It was less than a week, and I was on the table. So you don't really have time to get your head around what's going to happen or the potential of what could happen. And the potentials in my case were not, the prognosis was not fabulous, and because a lot of people don't survive that particular operation. It is a 7.5-hour operation, and a lot of people don't survive it. When I first joined the fire service in '84, the use of breathing apparatus was reasonably actively discouraged. So you weren't a real firefighter if you wore breathing apparatus in those days, and they really didn't have enough to go around either. Has it contributed? You know, over my career I've been in a lot of smoke environments, and we really didn't take the smoke too seriously in about my first 10 years in the job. I have put in a compensation claim. As yet they haven't rejected it or approved it. So it's been running now for about 6 months. And work cover requires such an enormous amount of documentation for this sort of thing. It takes a long time. I think the legislation is a bit narrow. The legislation should really be looking at body systems. So instead of just saying bowel cancer, for instance, it should be part of the digestive system. So that includes esophageal, stomach, small and large intestine, so it's the whole system that should be included, not just bits and pieces here and there. The same we'll also find in the future, I think, problems with defining particular cancers such as testicular cancer. It should be really a reproductive cancer, because as the number of women in the job climb, that doesn't apply to them, but there may be other reproductive cancers that are caused by smoke inhalation and just the job in general that would be applicable to women. So I think your focus on particular cancers might be a bit narrow. I think they need to broaden it out a little bit. The cancers that they're looking at covering, if you group them into the systems, the bodily systems, then I think you'll find that there'll be a better a better prospect of being covered by it and raise the awareness of people. So in the digestive system they've got bowel cancer and they've got esophageal cancer, I think, are in those systems. So it sort of stops and starts again, which is kind of not the way cancer works. So I think they need to look that way. If the legislation isn't retrospective and only starts from the date of gazetting or proclamation, there's nothing in it for me. Legislation often drives change rather than change driving legislation. So some of the things that that will be brought to the fore is more use of breathing apparatus, particularly during the damp down stage. While the job at the moment pays lip service to that in a lot of cases, because blokes go in and go, "No, it's all right, I won't worry about it." They're not aware of the monoxides and the toxins that are still in the air and being disturbed, so it'll be a greater use of breathing apparatus. It should have a look at, it should review and change some of our response procedures. At this stage, the only requirement to a car fire is the one person in the car, the one person fighting the car fire must wear BA, and the rest is at discretion. I think that will probably be upgraded to everybody on the site must wear BA, simply because wind changes and you get the smoke. It will change the way we even fight fires externally. Currently externally, if there's no smoke blowing your way, you probably won't wear BA. But then the wind changes and it's too late. So it will probably drive more use of breathing apparatus at external fires. The other thing that it will change is the way we deal with hazmat incidents or hazardous material incidents. I went to one which was some asbestos that was spilt on a road from a truck. Some chaps just wanted to wash it down the gutter. That's not how the game's played. They also didn't want to wear breathing apparatus at that incident. And until we damped it down, of course, any movement in the air can bring up those fibres. So they were very reluctant until I ordered them into breathing apparatus to wear breathing apparatus, because the day looked like today, but the fibres are so fine you can't see them. So even in small hazmat incidents like that, and other hazmat incidences, it will probably expand what we call hot zone out. So yeah, I think it will change the way the organisation looks at our work practices in those instances.